Hey everyone, welcome to the stream today. It's Miriam, and today I'm excited because Janine is joining me to chat with our guest, Ernesto Mandowsky from NewBee. So it should be a very exciting little stream today that we're doing. I hope you all are doing well. If you join us live, type in your comments, we'll get to them as soon as they come in. Janine, how are you?
I'm great. What about you, Miriam?
Good. Everything's good. Just getting through the Thursday day and morning and doing my best. How about you, Ernesto? How is it going?
I'm doing lovely. Sad about the rainy weather, but otherwise, feeling fine. It's Thursday, as you said.
Yes. Ernesto and I are both based in Miami, and Janine is in Atlanta at the moment. Janine, do you want to do a brief introduction about who you are, and then we'll pop into introduction from Ernesto?
Sure. I'm Janine. I'm the city leader for Founders Live Atlanta, which is a 99-second pitch competition. And I share a love for startups with my fellow participants today. Miriam and I have been involved together in Entre for a while as well.
Awesome. And our guest today, so Janine is going to be joining me for some streams. I'm very excited to have her and her Founders Live community support. Our guest today is Ernesto. I'm really happy to have him come and share a little bit about his work. Ernesto, do you want to briefly kind of introduce yourself? Tell us who you are. What are your passions and what brought you to where you are in your journey today?
Sure. Thank you, Miriam. And thank you for the opportunity to speak about my journey. I'm Ernesto. I'm from Miami. I've been really passionate about restaurants and systems engineering for a really long time. And when I started sharing these passions with people, I would ask, how could I combine these two worlds? And I never really got a straight answer. And through my own experiment of taking what I learned in classes and conferences and courses and kind of experimenting with different companies and restaurants, I found a way to create different jobs in the restaurant world, doing systems engineering, doing analysis work that has led to some pretty interesting experiences. And at first I wanted to write about my journey so that I could teach and educate all the future restaurant technologists. Little did I know a pandemic would come and totally revolutionize the restaurant technology world. But that book ended up evolving into a story that is inspired by nature and how bees make honey. And that is NewBee, which I'll be sharing a little bit more about today.
Love it. So you have plans for another book, or you wrote NewBee during the pandemic?
I wrote NewBee during the past 3 years, actually. I published during the pandemic, and I am writing my next book now. It's about the process that I kind of employed into creating these jobs, because I think the process of creation, while it's crazy and chaotic and messy, I still think there is a structured way to do it, a framework, if you may. And through creating that framework, I now started a company in which I work with different entrepreneurs and founders and creatives to implement this process, this structure, to help them kind of get their companies more organized, so that they can focus on creating it versus like keeping track of everything.
And that's what you're doing with Notion.
Yeah. I discovered Notion during the pandemic.
Okay.
And thought it was like such a cool, versatile tool. So I actually
explain what it is, just because in case people
Yeah.
are watching and I'm not familiar with Notion.
Yeah, so Notion is like a tool similar to Monday or Asana or Toggle or Trello or any of the plethora of project management tools that exist out there. And it's an extremely customizable tool that can fit any workflow, multiple departments in a business. You could use it in your personal life. You could to keep track of tasks, keep track of books that you're reading, take notes. There's just so many different ways of using it. And I have taken the tool and configured it to fit my framework, my approach, my process that I work with clients to implement in their business.
Very nice. What do you think about, I mean, everybody, it's taking off, Notion, everyone seems to love it. What do you think about their latest acquisition of Automateio?
I think it's fabulous. I think I think it's going to really accelerate how they help people save time and money and free things up, because they're going to now be able to plug in directly with other tools and apps that people use directly. I think there's a big gap. I think a lot of people now have an opportunity to learn about no code and automation, because as founders get to learn about automation and how it can free up time in their day, they can have a lot more like lost time spent doing admin work. Like it can free up so much time, so that they can go back to the actual creating part, the business development part, the building part, the fun part.
Yeah. Or just go to the beach and use that free time to just chill.
Yeah, totally. Or go to the beach, hire virtual assistants and have them do it. Yeah, totally.
What do you think, Janine? Have you spent much time with Notion? Are you a fan? Do you use it?
No, you know what? I'm making a mental note because I know a founder who accomplishes an incredible amount with no real assistant or staff. Like, for example, he's only really outsourcing like technical tasks, and he's like doing the virtual assistant type work himself. And I don't know if he uses Notion, but he does have tools. And I've been thinking about that in my mind. I'm like, well, self, it is possible to be efficient without an assistant, but one does need tools. So this is actually quite timely, because I'm open to figuring out how to be more efficient.
Yeah. And so, Ernesto, what do you do at CPD Advisors? You work with Notion, you support businesses. What exactly? Break it down for us.
Yeah, so CPD stands for cross-pollination design, and it's my bee-inspired approach to helping people create the structure. Bees go to all the different flowers, they extract the nectar, they transfer the pollen, they make the honey. And entrepreneurs are the same. They kind of have to go talk to the customers and work on the projects and speak with the vendors and kind of make sure everything's rolling in a sequential fashion. What we do with CPD Advisors, we start with setting a foundation for people. We implement the 6 Ps, which is our proprietary approach, which includes priorities or goals, project management, people ops, includes customer, like client-facing sales operations or hiring, processes to identify all the automation. There's promotion and planning. And we help people establish these repetitive workflows so that they know how they can keep up with all the different projects in their business across each day, across each month, across each week, across each quarter, and just keep this machine buzzing forth.
Like their own little beehive.
Like their own little beehive. That's what every company is, to some extent. I mean,
using Notion.
I use Notion. I centralize all the information in Notion. Companies sometimes use other tools, like maybe they'll use Google Forms, or they'll use HubSpot or Pipedrive or other tools. And the reason why I centralize everything in Notion is because in Notion you can create the links across different parts of the company. Sometimes software tools only focus on sales, or they only focus on knowledge management, or they only focus on this. Notion is kind of the place that keeps everything together.
Very nice. We use it at 1 Million Cups for organizing and keeping everything there. And I'm in a few different Notion spaces. You know, people create the stuff, then they add you to it. It's like a Slacks, Discords, Notions now. We've got it all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, why don't you tell us a little bit more about your book, where people can find it, and yeah, let's go and get into what about the process of writing it, publishing it, all of that stuff.
Yeah. So I started writing NewBee in 2017. Not at all inspired by bees. I had no idea what I was doing. I just put the ass in the seat and just started writing my story, and how I got into restaurants, and how I found myself working for the top nightclub in New York City, and about technology, having them understand anything. It was kind of a very messy process, but it wouldn't be until I would keep writing, and I started working for a startup in New York, a sales startup, where I had my aha moment of what this book was, or what it was going to be, and how I viewed our lives. Like, I view our lives as kind of a system of interconnected experiences that help us create the insight to continue our journey forward. And when I was reading about bees, and all the light bulbs kind of clicked, or it's inspired by bees, and that was the story. And so I didn't really know how to actually turn the manuscript into a book. So I attended a conference by a company called BookBaby. Have you heard of them?
Yes.
Yeah. So have you worked with them before?
No, I haven't worked with them before, but another local Miami author, I think, used them for their book too. We chatted about it briefly. That's how they got on my radar.
Yeah, they're a self-publishing service. And what that means is, if you're a traditional author, you want to be traditionally published, you have to submit a brief to a publishing company, and you're in a stack of 100,000 entries, and pray that they actually get to yours, and if they like it, then maybe they give you a royalty, maybe not. The whole publishing world has dramatically changed, and now there's tools and tech to actually self-publish, which you're familiar with as you're getting your publishing house. And so BookBaby is one of these big players in the self-publishing service space. So they had a conference. They brought in a bunch of vendors, and I kind of listened to like what I needed to do. And basically they told me, finish the manuscript, get it edited through a professional. I used Readsy, which is kind of like a marketplace that matches you with designers, editors, printers, etc. And once it was edited, I gave them the manuscript. They kind of basically take care of the rest. They take care of the rest from uploading and getting it on Amazon. And then it's up to me, it's up to the author to really promote the book and get it out there.
Yeah. I love the cover for it. It's really pretty, and I almost see like a you know that statue where the guy's like sitting like that?
Yeah, the thinker.
The thinker, yeah, I kind of see that in the bottom corner of it, like, so it's really cool. So you found your cover designer on this marketplace you mentioned?
No, I actually, I found my good friend. I said, hey, I want to do a cover. Can you help me? I've never done a cover, and I'm like, okay, it's fine. We'll figure it out together. And just through a lot of back and forth, and I got really inspired by the intersectional experiences. Creating new, like, unique insights was kind of like a big insight, like a big inspiration for that. That's how we kind of landed on that cover.
Nice.
Do you have it? Do I want to like bring it up?
Yeah, let's see. I mean, I have a copy, but I have the digital version. So for me, I can't show it. NewBee by Ernesto Mandowsky is available on Amazon. It is on Kindle. You can do the audiobook or the paperback. And looks like he's going to be bringing us a copy to check out the beautiful cover of it, so that you guys can see what I'm talking about. It's kind of like an artsy vibe.
Here's the cover.
Yeah, very cool. It's pretty.
Yeah, we got all these hexagons representing each experience in your life. And then when 3 different ones come together, you have a new unique hexagon that is created.
Yeah, it's really well done. Really into that cover. The artist that did that, talented, very talented. So let's go into, I don't know, for Janine, if you have any follow-up questions on that, but before we close out, I'd love to, you're a smart guy, you're out there paying attention to what's going on in the world, and you also clearly are merging your passion with your purpose, which I love and respect. So are you making any tech investments? One of our superpowers is our wallet. And so I'd love to get what are you looking at? Who are you betting on these days as a successful company?
I mean, I'm all in on myself, on my company right now.
Yeah.
The world is obviously drastically changing. Not to turn the conversation into like a whole crypto conversation, but a lot of people are talking about the creator economy, the rise in crypto. Like, people now have the ability to do direct commerce with each other. And the reason why I'm going all in with my own company is because I believe I can give people the tools to accelerate their creation, whether they are a dancer or a chef or a marketer or a health coach or whatever, or a startup founder. I mean, I'm betting on other companies. I'm putting my money into other companies. It means it's money not being put in my own company.
Gotcha.
And so I'm really trying to go all in with.
Janine, what about you? Are you making any investments these days that we should know?
What Ernesto said actually really resonates. I mean, for me, like, any money I'm not investing in myself, I would probably just buy crypto. I did that earlier on in the year. But recently I was thinking, I was like, oh, I could buy more crypto, and then it went up a lot and I didn't do it. But it's okay, because investing in myself is, you have to be like the venture capitalist of your, like, each of us respectively is our own billion-dollar bet. Like, so yeah, that really resonates, Ernesto. Hey, I did have a question though about your quote. Chaos is your ally when there is structure to guide it. Do you want to elaborate on that at all?
Yeah. I've gotten deeply spiritual throughout the COVID pandemic, and I think the creation process is chaotic. It is chaotic. It's nonlinear. You have to experiment. You have to mess up. There's a lot of things going on. But if you don't have a process through which a feedback loop through which you're like learning from the experience, okay, going back and like applying the new assumptions, you're the sales process, like all these little processes, if you don't have these feedback loops, you're really not going to you're not going to move forward. You're not going to advance. You're just going to stay in chaos. You're just going to be in entropy. And that can sometimes lead to anxiety, depression, like overwhelm, and you're not like really moving forward in your process. So I like to say chaos is great, but if you don't have the structure, like it'll be your enemy instead of your ally.
Love that. And you recently sold out of your conference.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people that I talk to, they plan events, and to sell out is amazing. How did you do that? What are any best practice tips you can share for people planning events?
Don't do it alone. Get together with friends, incentivize them, pay them, have them bring their people. Definitely implement referral marketing in there. And if you try to do it alone, there's only so much bandwidth. Like you have to plan the event. You have to take care of the logistics. If you're gonna do it all, again, it's gonna lead to that overwhelm. Unless you already have a platform, unless you have an audience, unless you have all this stuff, it's really tough to get people out there. Another thing I'd recommend is make it super valuable and super freaking awesome. Like have really good food, really cool venue. I hired my friend who's a raw vegan chef, and she has delicious food. Like make it awesome. Make it the purple cow that Seth Godin always talks about. Make it stand out differently. Use wild colors. Do it in a cool space. Like don't do it at a I mean, WeWork's cool, but like it's a WeWork. Everyone knows WeWork. Change it up a little bit.
Where did you guys have yours again?
We did it at the lab. The lab in Miami. It's an entrepreneurship space. There's bright colors, big windows, lots of lighting. So it was a cool space. And another thing I'd say is leverage not only just people, but like other networks. I'm in 3 entrepreneurship networks. Share it with them. Share it with give them discounts. I mean, price up and then discount down to like bring people in. So those are a few things I did.
Great, wonderful tips, and thank you for the work you're doing, helping people figure out processing their passion and their purpose and turning that chaos into something that's clear for them so that they can bring their gifts to our world. Any last questions, Janine, before we wrap up?
So are you primarily working with the restaurant industry, or are you actually, you mentioned startups, are you taking on other types of clients?
My first client was a restaurant. I'm trying to move away from restaurants actually, because
You are. Oh, okay.
I don't think they value what I bring to the table. I'm working with a sports analytics company. I'm working with Ocean Venture Studio. I'm working with health coach, a mindset coach. I work with all sorts of different types of clients in different industries at different levels of maturity.
That's awesome.
And how can people get in touch with you if they are interested in working with you?
DM us on Instagram. We are CPD Advisors, or send us an email, hello@cpdadvisors.com, or I guess our website, www.cpdadvisors.com.
Excellent. We'll put that up for people. And we've got a comment here. Amazing. Let's see here. Okay, we are getting spammed, guys. This is a huge moment for me. Oh my God. Brad Wolf would like to share with the world that he has relieved himself, and he's sharing that with us today. And this is my first spammer ever on a live stream. So I feel, thanks, Brad. Thanks for the spam. Appreciate you. Hope you're having a great day. Cool avatar. Everybody else out there, check out CPDadvisors.com if you want to organize your chaos and turn it into something that's going to support your lifestyle. And check out Janine online as well at Founders Alive. Janine, where else can people find you? I'm going to drop that.
I'm on LinkedIn and I'm on Instagram as well, although I'm not as active on Instagram. LinkedIn is a good place to find me. And I do enjoy the Entre rooms with Miriam. I need to step up my social media presence a bit.
And I was so excited by Brad's comment there that I misspelled cpdadvisors.com. So I hope that everybody smarter than me, there's a D in that. There's the correct URL to check out Ernesto's work and connect with him. And thanks, Janine, for the shout out for Entre. Everyone can check out joinentre.com, set up a profile, get access to amazing rooms, and sponsor discounts with some of our sponsors and partners. Tons of other things. We're in the middle of our launch week, just had a pitch competition. It's wonderful. So good times going. Appreciate everyone for tuning in. And Ernesto, thank you for your time. And Janine, we'll see you guys soon.
Yeah.
Bye.